Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Friday. I hope you're all doing very, very well. It's been a while since I've done a live video. And today I've got Rachelle here from FYI Play It Safe. And then just take note that there's a bit of a lag in the video. That's why we came on a bit late. We were waiting for my load shedding to stop we were just testing it out, and unfortunately it seems like there's a bit of a delay, and I think it's got to do with all the load shedding affecting the internet connections. So we're going to wing it as best we can. Welcome, Rachelle. It's lovely to have you.
Thank you, Lynn. It's so great to be back.
Awesome. So just a reminder, there is a giveaway, so you can win a 1-year family subscription to FYI Play It Safe. Awesome. So Rachelle, tell us, what is FYI Play It Safe? I know, but I'm not sure anybody else does at the moment that's watching.
Lynn, it's an app that we developed, and we've been in development for more than 3 years with the app. And it's really about monitoring children's online activity. And when I say online activity, I mean, anything from browsing on a web browser to in-game chats to, when they chat in things like WhatsApp or when they play online games. So it's really, it is monitoring children's online activities, and it then alerts parents if there's anything to be concerned about. And then when we talk about anything to be concerned about, we monitor for things like cyberbullying, depression, self-harm, suicidal ideation, when children talk to potential online predators, or when they engage in adult content, and that's anything like pornography, sexting, or drugs. And when we started thinking of giving my daughter a cell phone, one of the big things for me was I didn't just want a parental control app, because parental control apps, they're great, and I mean, we can't live without them. But with them, you can only set up things like screen time settings, and you can set up age restrictions, but you don't really know what your children get up to, and you don't have the information to intervene when it's needed. So I'm thinking about things like setting up age restrictions and those sorts of things. But if, for example, an online predator starts talking to your child in a chat room, as an example, and making comments about your child, starting to try and gain their trust, things like that, parental control apps won't tell you anything like that. So hence FYI Play It Safe, monitoring the actual content of what they do.
Perfect. Yeah, and one of the things that I love is that your app gives your child their privacy, and so you don't go and invade their privacy to know what's going on if there's something of concern. And I think for me, these children are a lot more tech savvy than I am. I'm already coming and saying to them, how do I work the remote? How can I get from YouTube to Netflix on the smart TV? So I'm at that stage already. And I think things are just progressing so fast that if, I was thinking at the beginning of this year, we were thinking of getting our kids phones. And I was thinking I'm going to have to go on every day, and I'm going to have to go try, look, and find out what they're doing in all these different apps. And quite frankly, I wouldn't know where to start. So this is a fantastic way for you just to get the important pieces that could be concerning sent to your phone.
Exactly that, and Lynn, it's so important for us to respect our children's online privacy. Now, I always say that, so my daughter is 15 years old now, and she'll be 16 on Monday. And for me, it's, she's starting to engage in conversation. She's now got a boyfriend, and she's got best friends, and she's starting to engage in conversations that to her is special and sentimental, but that would embarrass her when I read through them. So protecting their online activities while respecting their privacy online, and giving them that kind of privacy that we teach them from a young age, right? We teach them that it's their kind of right to have privacy. So those two aspects we try to balance within FYI Play It Safe.
Yeah, I really like that. And I just want to share with the viewers, FYI Play It Safe caught something of concern with my son a few weeks ago. I got a notification on my phone, and it was a screenshot I don't know what he was doing on the phone, but it was a push notification that had come up on his phone, and it was obviously adult in nature. And it's a woman saying, "Oh, I want to give you a kiss," and or maybe I don't know if it was a woman, but it came across as if it was from a woman saying, you know, she's from Australia and she wants to give him a kiss. And I get this, and I'm like, "What is this?" I didn't even know it was a push notification, and I had to go check his phone and fiddle around. And then while I was fiddling around, these notifications came up and I realized it was a push. So I mean, all my son does on there is he's got WhatsApp for family only. And I think he's got one or two of his little school friends on there. And then he's also got, he loves gaming. So he's got lots and lots of games on there. That's all he does. So it's not like he's gone and looked for pornography or looked for chat rooms or anything like that. So I think while he was playing a game, he just pushed on something accidentally and it started sending these push notifications to his phone. So I turned off the push notifications and I had a little chat with him. And I think I published a post on my website from you. I think it was a few days ago. I'll just go grab that link. It was a very good post about sexting porn and predators and why you need to have these uncomfortable discussions with your children.
Yeah, and Lynn, while you're posting that, I think it's so important, right? I mean, online safety starts with us talking to our children and with kind of continually building on the relationship with your child. Because in the end, if something goes wrong online or they stumble across content, you want them to come to you with that kind of information because they will need help. So so for me, you know, the uncomfortable conversations around things like pornography, we should be having from quite a young age, you know. Then if we look at the latest stats that were published, I mean, our children at the age of 10, 11, 12 may even have already been exposed to pornography. Now, I'm currently recording some content for a podcast that we're planning to launch towards the end of the year. And I'm openly speaking to 12 to 16-year-olds around their online, you know, activity. And some of them would openly tell me that from ages 7, 8, 9, they have stumbled across pornography. Now, a lot of times this may be, you know, very innocently they're playing a game, and the game, because they don't have a paid version, as an example, would pop up an ad and they have to watch the ad, and then unfortunately they click on a link, and that link takes them to a pornography website. You know, so things like that, we must realize as parents, it's not necessarily that they go out and look for things. They may really just be stumbling across them, you know, in their normal activity.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what happened with my son, because he does when he plays the games, he always watches the videos, you know, to pass the level or to get an extra life or whatever it is. And I think that's how he got those pop-ups. And I mean, I'm glad he didn't click on a pop-up. But
Exactly.
I think that's what you know, I think that's exactly how he got into it. So it's, you know, they've been completely innocent and they just get these things that come up that are so dangerous. And then also, you know, talking about, you know, just stumbling across stuff, I heard that some of the grade 3 boys, this happened last year. So it was the kids that were in grade 3 last year at my child's school were looking at pornography on a phone at school. And that's when my child was going into grade 3 and my boy, and I'm thinking, oh my word, you know, the dangers are all over the place. It's absolutely terrifying.
It's everywhere. It really is everywhere, you know, and a lot of times our gaming children, right? And there are a lot of gamers out there. They use all sorts of other apps to talk to their friends about it, and you know, and they strategize together and things like that. But if their profiles aren't set up correctly, then a lot of other people can send them messages. So one of the interviews the other day, there was a little boy. He's I think he's 14 years old now. But when he was around about 10 years old, someone dropped a link into the chat, or send him a DM with a link. And unfortunately, I mean, this boy, he was in this app. Obviously, it's Discord. He was in this app, and I'm not saying that Discord is bad, because Discord's got a lot of wholesome content in there as well. You know, if it's set up in the right way. So he clicked on the link, and the link opened which displayed a video. It was a 2-minute video of a number of people. I think he said something like 100 people committing suicide, in the
Oh
most
no.
horrific way, one after the other. And things like that, is also the type of stuff that's out there that we can't really protect our children against, because if they have a phone, they may stumble across some of these things. And it's not because they're doing something wrong. It's purely because they are online.
Yeah, 100%. I totally agree with you. I mean, I don't think the kids initially, maybe when they're a bit older and they're 16, maybe they go looking for porn. But I think the younger ones, they stumble across it. So one thing I just wanted to chat with you about, and I just want to remind anyone that's watching, if you want to enter the competition, just leave a comment and join in the discussion. So one of the challenges I had when I signed up is that you guys are not on Google Play or the iStore. So maybe tell us a little bit about that.
So Google Play, and obviously we're still developing our Apple capability. That should be, we're hoping to have that live end of the year or beginning of next year. But Google Play Store, Google doesn't like monitoring type of apps. Now, the one side you can understand, because they don't want to allow anything that could be seen as spyware. But then the other side is they're kind of forcing us to use their own parental control mechanisms and their own tools. But what they don't realize is that an app like FYI Play It Safe, the child has full privacy. It's not about being spyware, but that there is some type of monitoring that's needed for these kids. Parental controls will never pick up when a child Googles something like, where do I have to cut myself that my parents don't notice? Or how many sleeping tablets do I have to take to not wake up tomorrow morning? So those type of things, parental controls will never pick up. And that is why a monitoring app is so important. But unfortunately, we are in discussions with Google at the moment. So we are trying to get there. But all signals at the moment is that they wouldn't allow that. So we have to make different plans. It is available very easily to download from our website, though. So fortunately, Android does allow us to what we call side load apps. So you can download the app directly from our website and then install it on the mobile device.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. So for anybody watching, now this is the thing. I think, Google Play and the iStore, they've got such a monopoly on apps. And so when I went and I downloaded the app, I didn't actually know how to do it because I've never done it before. So the first challenge I encountered is that I couldn't download the app because you've got to go into your settings and then into apps, and then the menu icon, you got to go to special access, and then you've got to enable install unknown apps. So that's the first challenge I faced. It took me a little while to figure it out. So I allowed that, and then I downloaded FYI Play It Safe onto my phone. And then I encountered the same thing with my daughter's phone when I was doing it with her, but it became even more complicated because I had Google Family Link. So not only did I have to do that process, I also had to go into Google Family Link and click on my child's phone settings and then allow apps from unknown sources, and then install unknown apps and then do it with my son's phone. And then I had to go back and I had to disable that again because I don't want them clicking on a funny link and downloading, like a dodgy app. So for me, because I've never done it before like that, it did take me a little moment to get my head around. But now that I've got it, I've added that to my review so that if anybody knows how to do it, the information is there. And then I'm just going to pop my review. I just published it this morning. And that was also with a giveaway to win a 1-year annual family subscription. I'm just going to pop that in over there. Yeah. And then the other thing, you said that you're going to have notifications that come up. So you mean, I'm trying to, Notifications. So at the moment, what I have to do is every day or twice a day, like I make a point of going into the app and checking everything to see what my kids are doing online. But you don't get a notification. So that's coming out soon.
Yeah, I'm hoping we literally in final testing, Lynn, for that. So push notifications should be live in the next 2 weeks. So
Okay,
yeah,
that's
it's one of those pieces of feedback that we got that we immediately actioned. It wasn't as easy as I thought it would be, because all other apps use it, so you think that it's quite straightforward, but we had to actually go and develop the capability. So yeah, that should be out soon. Probably, yeah, as I said, in the next 2 weeks or so.
Okay, that sounds absolutely fantastic. Yeah, so I just want to add to this that yeah, at the beginning of this year, I think it was about February, March, my dad said he's getting a new phone and that he's going to offer his old one to my kids. And my upgrade was coming in April. So that meant I was going to have 2 phones available for 2 children. Also, we've just moved this last week. We've moved home further away from the school. So my kids are going on the school bus. So I was kind of thinking, okay, I kind of should get them phones because I don't want them being on a long bus trip without, a way of contacting me or me contacting them. But then I had to weigh this up against the fact that I'm terrified of my kids having phones. And I think out of their whole class, I think they're the last to get their phones, both grades, grade 3 and grade 5. But then when I heard about Rachelle's app, I contacted the PR company and I said, yes, please, I need that. So that in conjunction with Google Family Link, that gave me the push, the confidence to get them their phones, because I was terrified.
Yeah, no, and I think that's the thing, Lynn. It's our children grow up in a completely different time than we grew up. I always say that as long as we were at the dinner table before it got dark, that was kind of the only rule, right? But now we putting our children on a bus, we send them away to school. Not that we didn't have that, but the dangers around them are completely different, and the way people interact is completely different. So 100%. I mean, my daughter had a phone from a very young age, and again, I want to stress that there's no right age to give your child a phone. Your family structure in every household may be different, and that may say that your child need a phone when they're very young, whereas other families may feel that we're delaying until a much later age. So for me, there's really no right and wrong when it comes to the age. We are seeing at the moment in South Africa that the average age of children getting their first cell phone is around the age of 8 or 9. But then, in some of the talks to schools, I was quite horrified over the last while because I typically ask them, how many of you have got parental controls installed and how many of you have got things like screen time installed. And it's roughly 10-15% of children who's got those kind of controls set up on their phones. And only about 10% of children that have to hand in their phones. So we're sitting with roughly 75% of children, walking around without any parental controls, walking around without any screen time, without any monitoring, and with phones charging next to their beds. So for me, there are so many kind of red flags just in what I've said now that I think we as parents, we need to take that charge, because it's through parental controls, through screen time settings, through monitoring mechanisms that we teach them boundaries of safe cell phone use. And at their age, it's not easy for them to impose their own boundaries. We need to help them to put down those boundaries so that they can stick to them, and it will help them in their adult lives even.
Yeah. No, that's 100%. I wasn't even aware of Google Family Link, and you recommended it, so I used that, and I do love it because number one, when your child is like not listening to you and you like put your phone down, I love that being able to just push a button and the phone goes dead. It's like fantastic. My mom, when we went to the farm the last school holidays, my mom was like, "Put your phone down. I'm talking to you," and they didn't listen. And I said, "Mom, that's not how you do that. Come here." And I said to her, push this button on my phone. She pushes it. Oh, she laughed. It was so funny. She's like, okay, that works. But Yeah, and then I've set the times they're allowed to use the phone. So not before this time, not after that time, and then also the amount of hours they can use it in a day. But I have to be honest, the last week I've taken off the screen time limits, and it's about my survival.
Yeah,
So with this
absolutely.
move
Absolutely.
and all of that, I'm like, you can use your phones as much as you like, because it's been packing and moving and unpacking. It's been absolute chaos. So it's given me a break, but I have warned them now. We're going away for the weekend. There's going to be no internet connection, and we're not taking the phones with. So they're going to be, and when we get back, it's going to be screen time limits again.
Yeah, and I think that's it's such a good thing, because you also have to have the freedom to be able to do that. My daughter left on holiday this morning. It's actually quite a shock to the system, because although she's 15 years old, it's terrible for me to see her go on holiday and I'm obviously not there. So I also, last night, I turned off all her screen time settings, purely because, one, I want to obviously monitor where she is, because they're doing a quite a big road trip up to Namibia. So that's the one side of things. But the other side is, I want to, if at 2, 3 in the morning, if she's going through something and she wants to chat, then I want her to be able to phone me or WhatsApp me or whatever the case may be. So definitely, and it's all about just, when things return to normal, then we go back to kind of the normal boundaries, because that's, it's so healthy. Hey, there are different rules for holidays as well.
Yeah, definitely. Awesome. I think we've covered how to set it up, everything. Is there anything else you'd like to include?
No, I think the only last kind of comment is, I know a lot of parents are thinking that they maybe not technologically strong enough to do something like this, but we've made a YouTube clip that really shows how quick and easy it is to set up FYI Play It Safe. It really is an installation on the parent's phone, which takes all of about 10 seconds. It's an installation on the child's phone, which takes probably about 30 seconds. And then the binding process is very quick. The binding process takes all of, say, 20 to 30 seconds. And then you don't have to do anything other than that. As soon as it's set up and it's bound together, then FYI Play It Safe just runs, and you'll be alerted of anything that you need to be aware of. So for me, it's really take the plunge. If you need help, send us a DM or on Facebook or Instagram, or give us a call, send us an email. All our details are on the website. It's fyplayitsafe.com. And let us know how it goes, because we also want to continuously improve, right? So as we go, please give us feedback.
Yeah, I gave my feedback. I didn't think of the notifications. I don't think I gave you that one. I don't think I'd used it long enough to notice that I wasn't getting notifications. And then also, don't forget, you can get a 10% discount off your FYI Play It Safe subscription. Just use the coupon code Kavoki. Just going to pop that in the comments as well. And then we've got a comment from Colleen. She says, the iPad is the worst. I don't know what the difference is between the iPad and the phone.
Well, I think the other thing with iPads, as with all other Apple devices, Apple makes it hard for any kind of parental controls or anything other than using the Apple products. They make it hard for developers. So I'm just looking at going through our normal kind of development process with FYI Play It Safe. I'm very excited about the Apple capability, though, because I do think that is going to be just to add to everything that we do. So then we'll be able to monitor our children's iPads, iPhones, Android devices, phones, and tablets, all from kind of one monitoring mechanism. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Okay, I didn't know. I haven't got Apple products.
Yeah, I know it's hard. Development on Apple is very hard.
Okay, perfect. And then I've actually got another question. Your app is for phones and for tablets and iPads, etc. Are you going to get something for computers at some stage?
Yeah, so if you look at what I mean, my dream for FYI Play It Safe is obviously first was Android, next is iPads and iPhones to follow. After that, we do want to expand to Windows computers. I am still weighing up whether we do Windows computers first or Chromebooks, because Chromebooks are used in schools so frequently. So it's either of those two, but we want to get both on, and then after that we'll do MacBook computers, but that'll probably be last.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think the phones are the most important because they sit in their room under their covers of their bed and they sit with their phone.
Yes.
Whereas the laptops, I make them use it in a communal area of the house, and you can
Yeah.
kind of see the big screen.
Yeah.
You can hear what's going on. So yeah, I think
Yeah.
the phones
No,
is the
100%. Yes.
I've got Laikwa. Good morning. She put family link on his son's phone, but he saw things on the laptop while he was supposed to be doing his schoolwork.
Yeah.
She's in tears every time she thinks of what he saw and can't unsee. I don't know how to limit YouTube on the laptop. Well, Laikwa, I don't know what YouTube you've got, but there's YouTube Kids and there's YouTube. And I don't know how old your child is. So
Yeah, so one can also install parental control mechanisms on laptops. I'll have to do a bit of research to see exactly what, but then you can restrict YouTube. The only problem is, if you look at YouTube, you have to go and restrict the actual URL because they watch it via the web browser. So yeah, it's one of those things that you have to go and secure on the web browser side. But yeah, I'll have to go and do some research on that.
okay, cool. And Colleen says, for kids to become addicted unless parents put locks on, she's seen it firsthand. And Colleen, yeah, also put locks on. Yeah, I think, my kids could sit. And I mean, like now that I haven't I've taken off the controls at the moment, the screen time limits for my benefit, through moving and trying to set up my office and get everything going. And it's been fantastic for me. They're just sitting in their room. They don't go anywhere. They don't do anything. They just sit on their phone. So I could see if it was off, all the time, to become addicted would happen just like this.
And what is nice about using, and I mean, you'll see it now, firsthand experience, taking kind of those boundaries off, is FYI Play It Safe will tell you when they were online and for how long. So it will actually be interesting to see now over this week that you've taken those boundaries off. How much time have they actually spent, and on what did they spend the time?
Yeah, it would be interesting. I think my daughter's going to spend all her time on WhatsApp talking to her friends.
Like mine.
That's her favorite pastime. Perfect.
Indeed.
Awesome. I think that's it, unless anybody has any more questions. Cool. I'm going to pick our winner, Colleen. Colleen Hogan, you have won the 1-year subscription to FYI Family Link. Please pop me an inbox message and then I'll connect you with Rachelle.
Great.
Awesome. Cool. I just want to see, is there any other banners I want to do? No, that was it. Just the awesome. Great. Everybody have a wonderful weekend. Rachelle, thank you so much for joining. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you again.
Thanks, Lynn. I really appreciate it every time we speak.
It's a pleasure. Cool. Bye.
Thanks so much. Bye.